Welcome to my first tutorial episode on Phasmophobia. This tutorial is going to be all about, just explaining the tools, basically. So let's go select a job real fast. It doesn't really matter which one, so I'm just going to pick Fridge View, Professional, yeah. Add all the items, ready up, and go. And now we're going to show you what we're working with. So wait until his voice stops.
I've also written some notes on the whiteboard if you need them. I've got nothing else to report, unfortunately.
Good. Very good. Okay. So first, let's start off with the detective tools, as I like to call them. Your most regular thing is going to be EMF. You right-click, you turn it on. Right-click, you turn it off. So a ghost sometimes requires you to have EMF 5 to find it, as in the journal. When you hit J, just go to the back of it and then go to the ghosts. Let's see, like this one, EMF 5 for the Goryo. And the way to get that, the easiest way, is to be inside the house and just keep saying, give me a sign. Like you say, give me a sign, because that is the way to make a ghost do something for you. Sometimes it's far away though, so you'll have to walk to the noise that you just heard. Like it could be a bottle that they tipped over, it could be a door that they opened, maybe they knocked on a window, or they toppled over a shoe. And any sort of thing like that, if you go there with your EMF, you will get a specific level, because a ghost interaction will always make your EMF go off, but it will happen at certain levels. So level 2 is like a small interaction, level 3 is like a bit more of an interaction, 4 and 5 are basically the same, but with 5 you have the evidence of 5, and with 4 you have nothing. Now what I do with the EMF is keep it off, plunk it here, and never use it. That's it. Don't use the EMF. Or at least don't do it for, for a piece of evidence. Like, you're gonna have a difficult time getting EMF 5, because it can take forever. Sometimes you get lucky and immediately get EMF 5, or let's say you find a Ouija board. If you ask that a question, then you could get EMF 5 if you have it on while you ask the Ouija board a question. But other than that, it's horrible to get EMF 5. So, you can use the EMF 5 to find the ghost room, but definitely not as a piece of evidence. That's way too difficult. Don't do it. So next, we have the spirit box. This thing, you turn it on with right click, and when you're soloing, you don't have to press a V anymore to talk to the ghost. Because now when you're playing solo, you can just talk. It will always hear you, which is also a bit of a downside. But yeah. So with the spirit box, you go into the ghost room, and you just ask it one of these 3 questions. Where are you? How old are you? What do you want? Those are the 3 questions to ask it. Now, you can ask other questions, like as long as you see on the right you have that X or a little ghosty ghost. As long as one of those 2 becomes like full-on black, then that means that you did get a type of response. Like if it's an X, the ghost did not want to respond, but at least you'll know that the spirit box heard you. And, well, when you get the little ghost icon to light up, then that means the ghost is actually responding to you. You will also hear the voice of the ghost when you do this. So yeah, and if you get that, then that is your piece of evidence. You can go into your journal, put it on Spirit Box, and there's your first one. So that's Spirit Box. It only works in the ghost room, once again, so keep that in mind. Then we have the little writing book. Now if you pick it up and then you press F, it will actually be open. And you just plonk this down in the location where the ghost is a lot. which is usually just a ghost room, but if it's a wanderer, it can also be anywhere else. As long as you've seen like a ghost interaction, it might go back to that location where it had the interaction. So it's perfectly fine to also place it there. The ghost might ride in it, the ghost might not ride in it. But just like the EMF, it's one of the most difficult things to actually find as evidence. So usually I don't really care about the ghost writing book. I'll still place it down in the ghost room, but it's not one of the main things to go for. So the next one is the dot projector. I don't think I can turn it on in the truck, but when you have the ghost room, you basically look at the floor in the middle of the room, you press F, and that will plonk it down, it will light up, and the entire room will become green with little dots. And then when you look at it, the ghost might actually walk through it. It happens at a rapid speed, and if you like blink your eyes a bit too slowly, you might even miss it. Like it's a very short, very brief. So do keep an eye on that. But to make that easier for you, there's the video camera. Just plonk down the video camera anywhere in the corner of the room, like on a desk, on a little end table, maybe even on a chair. Doesn't really matter. And keep it pointed at the dot projector. And then you'll just go back into the truck and use this mouse. You just left click on the mouse until you get to the camera that you set up. You hit the spacebar once to go to night vision, and then you'll look at the dots projector. Because in night vision, it's much clearer to see the ghost move through it. And you'll also be in the truck, which is just a safe location, so why not? The video camera I also use all the time now on the very first run into the house. Like when you start a mission and you go into the house, the video camera is my main choice. And just because you can check all the rooms real fast for orbs. And while you're also yelling, "Give me a sign." So you're looking for orbs, but you're also listening for an interaction, which like it just doubles the speed at which you may find the ghost. Like if it's not orbs, then sure, you'll never get something, but you're still shouting, "Give me a sign." So you might still get an interaction and get closer to what the room of the ghost is. So next up is the UV light. This is usually my secondary equipment piece. Because when you're shouting, "Give me a sign," I'm basically just waiting until I hear an interaction with a door. But sure, you can have the EMF on you, which is also a good secondary piece of equipment to just find the room of the ghost, or where the ghost is. But with the EMF, the interaction could also be like toppling over a can or something, which is a very low volume kind of interaction, which you usually don't hear unless you have keen ears and like have no friends with you in the game. And that way, that's like the only way to actually hear it. But other than that, like a UV light goes for the doors, goes for the windows, which are the loudest types of interactions. So to me, that's a much safer bet. Sometimes I do switch it up, and yeah, that's all up to you if you want to switch it up. So the next step is the flashlight. Very easy. Turn it on. There you go. Always bring a flashlight. Flashlight is your main equipment. So for me, the main equipment is flashlight, video camera, UV light. Hold the video camera, use T to turn off your flashlight because you're gonna be using the camera's night vision to actually look through the house. And once you're done with looking at every room or get your interaction, that's when you just, you toggle on your flashlight. And then you'll just do whatever to get all pieces of evidence, which I will show you in later episodes. And last but not least, the thermometer. You turn it on. You can see the temperature. And when the temperature is 3 or lower, if you're playing with Celsius. Fahrenheit, I actually have no idea what the threshold is. But for Celsius, it is 3. Or actually it's 2.9, because if you get a 3, it's not freezing, but everything below 3 is freezing. I never use it, because if it is freezing in a room, you can also just be in the ghost room, stare directly down, and then you will eventually, maybe, see little puffs of smoke, which just means that your breath is cold. So that's also the other way to check if it's freezing. If you see your breath, it is automatically freezing. That's it, so you don't really need the thermometer. Thermometer is only good when you're on a bigger map, like high school, asylum, prison, because those maps take a while, because they're big, and there's also like big rooms. So if you go into the building and see this green little icon, that is the breaker. You have to turn that on, and that will make the entire building just rise in temperature up to the maximum of like, 22 Celsius-ish? It will take like a minute or two before that actually happens. But yeah, eventually it will be like 15 Celsius in almost every room. But then, let's just say in the garage, it's suddenly still 6, while all other rooms are 15 or higher. That will indicate that the garage is the ghost room. And then you can set up all your other equipment that requires to be in the ghost room. So, that's the only reason why the thermometer is still useful. Picture camera, very easy. It's just to take pictures, get money, or take a picture of the ghost objective, which I don't have currently. But there is an objective to get a picture of a ghost, so you can get that with that. And picture cameras usually are being used by people that want to also make a little bit more money during their missions. Like they can take pictures of fingerprints, they can take pictures of interactions when they happen, like when a phone starts ringing, you can actually take a picture of it, which is still interesting. But yeah, you can also take a picture of footprints. You can take a picture of, let's see, writing in a book. Like, if it did write in this book, you can take a picture of it for money. If you're in one of the 2 farmhouses or Willow Street, there are voodoo dolls there. You can take a picture of that for money. And obviously the bone. Every mission you go on has a bone hidden somewhere. If you find it and take a picture of it, you get some more money for that. And if you don't care about money, still try to look for the bone, because it's also 30 experience to just pick up the bone. A Parabolic Microphone, even though they did update it to catch more noise and stuff, it's still useless. Like, you can find the ghost room, but what does it do to also get evidence? Like, you might as well have a thermometer, that's the exact same thing, to find the ghost room. So yeah, Parabolic Microphone, no, don't do it. Let's see, then we have the motion sensors. You just plonk those on a wall in the ghost room or where the ghost is active. Eventually it will go beep, and then you got the motion sensor done. It is only required to use the motion sensor when you have the mission to use it. Like one of these 3, the objective 2, 3, or 4, might ask of you to use the motion sensor, and that's when you just plonk it on the wall to get that objective done and get the extra 40 experience per objective. Glowstick is to find the footprints, which I mentioned with the photo camera, to take a picture of footprints. That's just some extra money. And then we have the little sound sensors. If you really have no clue where the ghost is, you might get a little bit cheeky with it. And just plonk all of these down around the house and see which one makes the most noise. You have a little thing for that. Here you go, sound sensors. Sensor 1, 2, 3, 4. And they will actually have red bars that go up in strength. And the ghost will be near the one that has the most strength. Like if you plonk one down in the kitchen, sensor 1 will actually turn into kitchen. So you know which one is which. And then you can just check if it has a lot of sound. And if it does, well, the ghost might be there, or at least close by. Next up we have... Oh, actually, let's go to the Sanity Pills. You take these when your sanity is 60 or lower. Because your Sanity Pills will give you 40% up. And the higher your sanity, the less chance a ghost will actually hunt you. Now, if you're solo running, you might actually be very fast about it. So, like, when you already know what the ghost is at a certain point, and you're just down to doing objectives, and you see your sanity is like 75, just take a pill. You have 4 of them, just get yourself back to 100%, do your objectives. It's much safer to do it that way. Next up, we have candles. The candles are somewhat a good way to find the ghost room. As long as you're holding it, and it's on, it has to be on. But if you're holding it and you're just walking around through the rooms, the ghost might actually blow it out. The only difficult part about that is the candle also has a lifespan. Or at least a reset timer. So the candle might go out and you would think that the ghost blew it out. But it might also just be that timer where it runs out. So yeah, you can go for it, but I would just leave the candle for it to be an objective. It will also show here, like, get the ghost to blow out a candle would be the sentence. So yeah, you just go into the ghost room at that point, plonk down a candle on the floor, and just wait for it to blow out the candle. It's very easy. Next up are the Smudge Sticks. These are your protection. When you need a ghost to hunt you, or you feel like the ghost is about to hunt you, but you're still, like, not done with your objectives, grab a Smudge Stick. Also grab a lighter. I'm actually full on equipment. Hold on, let me drop the UV. Grab a lighter. Hold the Smudge Sticks. And then whenever the ghost starts hunting, just wait for it to actually start moving. And when it gets close to you, you hit F. They will start burning. And then you just bolt towards the ghost. Go through the ghost to actually make him sick. Because when you get close to the ghost with a lit smudge stick, they pretty much just get high. And they will make a 180 from you or go wherever. And like for 3 or 4 seconds you will be safe to go wherever you want to go to hide for the rest of the hunt. So you're basically just giving yourself some extra time to survive the hunt. But yeah, it's amazing. It's what I always use when I need to do the objective to either escape a hunt or... Well, there's also one that just specifies smudge while it's chasing someone. Chasing someone also means hunting. So yeah, that's basically what I just explained. Use the smudge stick, wait for it to come at you, light it, and run through the ghost. And running through the ghost is not entirely necessary, it's just to make sure that you actually hit the ghost with it. Like, the smoke will leave a trail behind you, so you might catch the ghost with that trail. But it's a safer bet to just walk through the ghost. The crucifix, when you have the ghost room, you place the crucifix on the floor. It does not work when you have it in your hand. No matter what other people say, you have to put it on the floor, otherwise it is ineffective. When it is on the floor, the ghost, when the ghost wants to hunt you, it first needs to take a bite of the crucifix. It will take I believe it's the right side first. And after that, when it wants to hunt again, it has to eat the other side of the crucifix, and then you're left over with just a little stick that is completely burned out. And that will indicate that the ghost can hunt you again. But yeah, you're basically full on protected with the crucifix. So crucifix and smudge sticks are your shields against ghost hunts. Next up is salt. Also pretty easy. You just hit F on the floor in the ghost room or wherever the ghost is nearby. Put them a little bit away from each other, like this is way too close. You... Like, between this pile and this pile is a perfect distance to put salt. So your third one would be like here-ish. And yeah, just plonk down the salt and forget about it, because the ghost might just go through it while you're doing other stuff. So if it's one of your objectives, which it is for me right now, get a ghost to walk through salt, just plonk down the 3 piles that you get from this can. You don't get any more, just 3. So yeah, put them in like favorable positions where the ghost can actually walk to. So if you have like a desk with a chair, don't put it under the desk, because the ghost cannot actually move through it. Just put it in the most spacious areas, maybe at the front door of the room. So it's not really the front door, but just the the door to get out of the room. Because most ghosts just love to get out of the room and do something else. So yeah, there's a much higher chance you will catch it when you place it next to the door. Let's see, and then we have tripods. Very self-explanatory, you just hit G to drop it down. And then you grab a video camera, it will already show an image of itself. And then you hit F with that camera, and it's functional. Now in the truck it's not functional, because none of the cameras actually function here. As you can see, like this piece that says Parasonic or Panasonic, I believe, yeah, Parasonic 4K, that will flop open and then you can see images. Same for this camera, it will actually turn on when you're outside or inside the house, but as long as you're outside of the truck you can actually see it all. But yeah, on a tripod you just get a bit more view of the room. I usually don't bring my tripods though, I just place the regular camera on like a table, a dresser, whatever. And that should be all you need to know. Well, I could maybe explain these things over here. These are head-mounted cameras. You just hit E on it, and it will be on your head. But for a solo running, there's no point. Like, you're basically looking at your own camera right now, so it doesn't help. But when you're in a group, you can have it on, and then somebody else could be on your head cam, so they are safe in the truck. And you just use your head cam to let them see what you're seeing. So that might help out a little bit. And of course there's the key. Always pick up the key. Otherwise you are unable to get inside the house. And that's all you need to know about tools. I hope this taught you a little bit. And if you want to see actual solo ghost hunting, check out my my other episodes of Phasmophobia tutorials, and I hope you learn a lot.